Hello, my beautiful people. This is Gist with Alora again. We are talking about our favorites. You all know that they have acted side by side in over a dozen romantic movies together. Their chemistry is flawless and their screen presence it's magical as always. But what happened one afternoon on set in the middle of filming? It will make you weep for them what they actually passed through to give us memories, sweet memories on the screen. What happened that afternoon actually made the crew production shake. Like all of them were actually shaking and they felt that emotional moment. When Sonia Uche broke down and Maurice Sam did something no one expected. So today you will hear the full gist. Before we continue, let me quickly welcome our new subscribers and viewers. If this is your very first time coming across my video, please watch to the end. And if this one interests you, do well to subscribe. Subscription is free. And click that notification bell so you will not miss any of our updates whenever we post. And to my sweet, amazing subscribers, returning viewers, I appreciate so much. I see your likes, your shares, and your comments. Thank you so much, Just with Alora. It's so grateful. I love you all. So now let's take it back. Sonia and Maurice had been filming back to back and back to back. You can name it, and their chemistry has always been good. Producers always booked them non-stop. And by this time, they had built a solid friendship, not just as colleagues, but as a trusted partners who could rely on each other when the cameras rolled off. Then came one particular production. Let's just call it Project X. Even though I know most of you have watched the movie and I want you to guess which particular movie is this. It's a movie that required Sonia to play a woman caught between trauma and new love. The script was so powerful, the emotions, it was intense. It was a day four on the set of that movie when Uche Sonia had barely slept the night before and she was so exhausted. She was mentally, emotionally drained, but one thing about Sonia is that she's determined to deliver. Then the director called for a scene, one where her character was supposed to confront years of emotional abuse and finally lean on Maurice Sam's character for comfort. And it was actually simple, right? These people do a lot of things to bring us laughter on the screen, but behind all those is struggles, sleepless nights, mental exhaustions, and all that. But that moment the camera started rolling, something changed at that particular moment when Sonia began the scene, when she started her own part, delivering her lines flawlessly. But in the midway, her voice cracked. Her eyes filled up with emotional tears and all that. But at this time, it wasn't acting anymore. She broke down right there in front of the cameras, not scripted, and everyone was watching. This one is not rehearsed, though. She dropped to her knees and wept uncontrollably. And the director yelled and said, "Cut, cut, cut." But no one moved. The set went silent. Was she okay? Had something happened? Everybody was curious, according to insider that made this statement. Everybody was curious, and Maurice Sam didn't wait for permission. He just walked towards Sonia, not as a co-actor, but as a friend. He knelt beside her and took off his mic and whispered words one could not hear at that moment. And then he placed his arms around her. And it is not, they are not performing anything, not romantic shows or anything, just solid emotional support. The crew was stunned, everybody. The director allowed it to play out naturally, just looking at them. And at that moment, it was raw, it was real, it was unforgettable. And later on, Maurice would say that wasn't just a scene, it was a real life experience. So later on, an insider revealed that the scene reminded Sonia of a personal loss she had kept private. This kind of a scene that you are positioned and one in particular, there is one particular thing that will trigger you. And as human that we are, you must pour out your emotions. That wasn't just a script, it was life limiting art. She had buried those emotions for years, and the scene unintentionally forced it out. Some say it was the most powerful performance of her career, not because she was acting, but because she was healing, and Maurice being there made all the difference. The crew didn't just watch, they felt it, and people were moved to tears. The makeup artist said she had never seen such vulnerability from any actor. The director made a bold choice. He kept the breakdown scene exactly as it was. There is no editing. It was raw, untouched. That is the same way they posted it and added it to the movie. It made the final cut of the movie so amazing, and it became the most talked about scene in that entire film. You will not even know, not until this one person in the inside listed this and mentioned this. So when the film aired out, fans were quick to notice that the scene hit differently, and that movie actually made a name. And I want you to, if you are watching this movie, I want you to just like use your I want you to use your number six to actually calculate and fish out this movie I'm talking about, because that movie was real. Like everybody could feel the pain in Sonia's eyes. What they didn't know is that that thing that was actually real. And Maurice Sam later posted a cryptic caption and said, "Sometimes the hardest scene aren't scripted," and it is true. There are some things that you want to do and you feel like this one is not done rightly, that is not going to bring out 100% good result. But by the time you go back and you see that the ones you actually did 100% is even the lowest result, and the ones you just did without even putting much effort is the one that will come out to be good. And that is what Morisa meant by this word that he mentioned. After the insider explained all this, people flooded the post with love, prayers, and respect for both of them. They were, as in, the post of that movie was exceptional. It's not the only romantic movie Maurice Sam and Sonia have acted, but that one was so exceptional. And Sonia eventually spoke about that day, but not in a dramatic interview. She mentioned this simply in a TikTok video and said, "There are moments where the camera catches more than the performance. It catches healings." That moment reminded everyone that actors are human too. They carry their own stories behind their smiles. And Maurice Sam, on the other hand, he proved that being a co-star is not just about chemistry, it's about compassion. What happened that day was more than just a breakdown, it was a breakthrough. Sonia reminded us that vulnerability is not weakness, it is strength in its purest form. And Maurice Sam, he showed us the kind of man he truly is: quiet, respectful, and present. In a world where so many fake what they feel, these two gave us something rare: authenticity. They prove that even in acting, some truths are too deep to be fictioned. So next time you watch them on screen, remember that behind the lights, behind the glamour, behind all those things are real hearts. Hearts that break, hearts that heal, and sometimes hearts that help each other without saying a single word. This was a day Sonia broke down on set, and this is why fans love Maurice Sam and more. So, my people, what do you think? Guess the movie right. Until next time, keep celebrating humanity behind stars. This is Gist with Alora, where real stories live. Bye.